Like a vampire, I don't need to know you. Come with me, I'll show you. You can find me backstage, I'm a party with a Nicolas Cage. Girl, I want that body, you know you got a body like Nicolas Cage. You ain't gotta be scared, you ain't gotta be afraid, baby. It's just you and me alone tonight with Nicolas Cage.
Hey, this is Cagefighter Reece. I just want to say, stick around after the podcast. At about the 60-minute mark, you're going to hear a very special story that I'm going to tell about a bodyboarding experience that I had. In fact, you're going to hear Cagefighter Steve reference it in this episode. So if you want to know what that's all about, make sure you hang out after the podcast episode has ended. In this episode, we're talking about Prisoners of the Ghostland. We did finally get around to watching it. We have some pretty strong opinions about this one. I'm actually going to run through the entire movie. You're going to hear our thoughts on both the film and also the behind-the-scenes stuff that is featured with the iTunes release. Thanks for listening to this podcast, and enjoy. Yeah, so guys, this is going to be really easy for you because I watched Prisoners of the Ghostland twice, and my second watch through, I actually decided to write down everything I'm going to say, and I'm going to go through the movie, and I want you guys to kind of correct me, cut me off when you feel the need. Prisoners of the Ghostland, I was so psyched for this when the trailer first came out, and I believe that it had pretty stellar reviews from the festival circuit. I'll just say that. And also the fact that it was directed by a Japanese director, Sion Sono, who I'm not familiar with at all. I didn't know any of his movies. He's got a pretty healthy fan following here in the States, I learned. The movie came out, well, by the time this podcast comes out, like a month ago. It was written by TV actor Aaron Henry and actor Reza Sixo Safai. Pretty sweet name. There's a few writing credits between these guys before they wrote Ghostland. Nicolas Cage is the star. We've got Sofia Boutella, Nick Cassavetes, Bill Moseley, and a whole cast of Japanese and Asian actors. It's made so far about $40,000 at the box office on an unknown budget. I think it's super interesting. We're coming to this movie after Pig, having reviewed Pig. I mean, I don't know if we want to call this the parabola effect. You know, we had Jiu-Jitsu, which you should listen to our review. We had some very specific thoughts on that. I think Pig was an interesting surprise for us. And now I just feel like we're kind of moving more back towards Jiu-Jitsu, in a sense.
Yeah.
So before we jump into the movie, just real briefly, how would you guys describe it? What was your experience watching it?
This movie is Mandy for weebs. I
can see that. Yeah. There's a lot of cosplay. So, you're going to hear there's a lot of cosplay.
There's a lot of cosplay.
It really just felt like a dream I had as a teenager.
I like that, Steve.
Yeah.
You wake up and you think, well, that was pretty cool, but definitely that was a dream.
Well, no, it's one of those ones that you wake up and you're trying to make sense of it.
Yeah.
And then you forget it. It was one of those dreams.
Yeah. So you fill it in. You just fill it in with stuff.
Yeah,
and then that's your movie, maybe.
Yeah.
I felt a lot when I was watching this movie that it was almost like a serious version of Gintama.
I'm familiar. I haven't seen Gintama, but I'm familiar.
And they made a couple Gintama movies, but it's essentially like it takes place in feudal Japan, but then aliens invade, and there's just this mashup between samurai Edo period Japan and just like wacky nonsense.
Okay.
I was going to say, speaking of which, if neither one of you have seen, I would highly recommend Samurai Flamenco.
Okay. I was really expecting Bunraku.
No. That's no.
Okay. I haven't seen that either. Although I do like samurai and flamencos.
Yeah, well, I've been recommending it to you for quite a while, and you keep ignoring me.
Well, just keep trying, because you know how it is.
Yeah.
You just keep trying, and
I just need to get you to watch the first episode.
eventually he'll give in.
No is just a yes that hasn't happened yet.
Do we have any Nick Cage news? I saw some story where Nick Cage says, no, Nick Cage just spent a ton of money on a comic book. Did you see that? I'll bring it
Yeah,
up.
he has to do like 6 B movies in order to pay for it or something.
Yeah. And that means that's
Like he
6
already
more.
signed up to do
That's
6 short
more
films or something.
Prisoners of the Ghostlands we're going to have to watch.
Yeah.
He was also recently kicked out of a Las Vegas bar for being drunk. And this is according to page6.com. I'm really hopeful this is reliable. But apparently he was at this bar and they kicked him out because they thought he was a homeless man.
But he actually was just filming some B-roll for Pig.
Yeah, it would totally make sense. Oh, the photos are not very endearing.
Did he look better or worse than Rudy Giuliani, though?
Oh, better. He still looks cool. That's the thing. Even when Nick makes some poor decisions, he's still looking cool.
Even Nick doesn't shave in public in his worst moments.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know what else to say about Nick.
I do have one more piece of news.
Then tell me.
If you really want to do
then
this.
go ahead.
So, recently I made an acquisition. I just happened to come up on this local, like, secondhand Facebook group that I have.
Okay.
Where, like, typically, buy, like, old pallets of stuff and then resell. One of those kind of people. And he happened to have one that hadn't sold that I was able to pick up.
Uh-huh. Is this alcohol?
No, it is the limited edition, still wrapped T-shirt from the Fast Times at Ridgemount High.
Dude!
Yeah,
That's baller.
yeah, that's totally awesome.
That is so cool.
It was a low roll, but it's technically Nick's first movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that is some real memorabilia you have there.
Yeah,
So you now officially might be the biggest fan out of all of us,
yeah.
as far as investments.
And it didn't really cost me that much.
That's good. That's. I was gonna ask.
Yeah, it was $4.
Now you just need to
Okay.
get it signed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you
So,
can sell it
Nick?
for $4,000.
Yeah.
I would love it. I will open this if you're willing to sign it.
I like that. Open letter.
My dream is to get Nick to sign a sealed copy of the Ant Bully for GameCube.
Dude, is his voice in the game?
I severely doubt it.
The Ant Bully, rated D10 for ages 10 and up. You can play the game and see the film in theaters now. Film rated PG.
You've heard that rumor, right? That Michael Jackson did the soundtrack for Sonic 2
Yeah.
for Sega Genesis?
3.
Yeah. Oh, was it 3?
Yeah.
But he removed his name from the credits. But apparently there's a lot of evidence to suggest that it's true.
Was it because of the kids?
I don't know, Sean. I don't know enough, okay? I'm passing it on. It's a little tidbit that's interesting. Go Google it.
Just go and donate to the Kickstarter for Michael Jackson's Moonwalker 2. Let's get
Oh, I would.
let's get the sequel made.
Do you think that do you think Michael Jackson was able to decide how his image would be
Guys,
used virtually?
Guys,
What?
We can't keep putting it off. We have to talk about this movie.
God.
Let's just do it. Let's get it
All
over
right,
with.
All right.
Come
Yeah.
on.
My granddaughter has been lost to us. I would have her return to me post haste. And you, sir, I am told, are the man to do the job. Each arm is equipped with an explosive device. Your trousers are also equipped with explosives.
Really?
Just beyond the point where we now stand lies a highway where evil reigns.
What is this?
At the end of 5 days, if you have not returned with Bernice, well, I think you get the idea, son. Godspeed.
This is the Ghostland, a land of no escape. We are not the ones who hold her captive. It's been 2 days, and still she is missing.
How do I get out of here?
You must surrender to fate.
Make it rain, baby!
I am radioactive.
No one escapes the Ghostland. No one!
I'm not a prisoner!
All right, I'm going to go through the movie, guys. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Let's
This
do
is
it.
a wild one. This is a wild. I also watched the behind the scenes that came with the iTunes movie, which is basically 6 minutes of the key actors talking about how awesome their characters are. It's mostly bullshit, but if you want to watch it, it is included with the iTunes movie. Prisoners of the Ghostland. All right, the opening of this movie, it's a dolly shot into a bright red, half-filled gumball machine, center frame, in this kind of hazy blue room where two men are seated on a bench, dressed like La La Land cosplayers. A little boy in an orange cardigan, wearing some kind of plastic Japanese festival mask, turned to the side of his head. He approaches the machine while soothing ambient music swells. He smiles gleefully up at the candy machine right before Nicolas Cage blasts through the front door with a sawed-off shotgun, screaming, "Banzai!" and robbing the bank with his partner, who is just some old dude who really likes to kill people and wear eyeliner. This is the beginning. This is the absolute first scene of the movie. And then it's just all of a sudden we're in a different movie. Mm-hmm. It's like a Meiji era Japan with geisha, maiko, and samurai, and they have electricity. Is this Demon Slayer Season 2 Yoshiwara Entertainment District arc? And then one of our geisha girls is actually not Japanese. I mean, that's fine, but no, she's actually our lead actress. She's the evil mummy woman from that really bad Tom Cruise Mummy movie a few years ago. That's where I recognized her from. It's Sofia Boutella. And her character's name is Bernice. It's a name that you never forget in this epic drama, Bernice. They love to say it. And apparently, Bernice and two other ladies are trying to escape their slave pens, which is evidenced by the half-naked ladies who are actually still in their slave pens, yelling, "Hurry, go!" in Japanese. I don't really know how that helps them escape stealthily. But you do you, baby.
Yeah.
That's scene 2. I hope you're rolling with this.
Who was the one? There was the one titty lady. What did she give her?
What's that?
There was the one lady that was like very insistent that she was in the frame and that you could see her.
Yeah.
But
her
she
breast.
also she gave her something too.
Oh,
right?
she did?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I didn't catch that. I was just
she
too
she
entranced.
asked you to come over and she was like, come here, and gave her something. I don't know, a bracelet or
a
some
memento.
drugs. Yeah.
But then all of a sudden we're inside a car, and they're like, "Are we free? We've never been outside of our house before." They start the car. Then we cut to a close-up of Bernice's sleeping face, interspersed with cuts of their escape, with more dramatic music, and then a warning sign, warning, area FNSS. I never figured out what that is. And then all of a sudden, there's Mad Max samurai cosplayers. There's a young Freddy Krueger. Then Bernice wakes up. And where is she? What is this place? Oh, this is the Ghostland? What is the Ghostland? You know what I mean? Like, is this the place that's in the title, is what I was asking myself. And then, it's what is the Ghostland? What did you guys think of the Ghostland?
I think it's a metaphor for the space in which Nick's testicles exist.
I feel like there's a lot of forced symbolism.
I feel like the Ghostland reminded me. What was the game series that I know it's still probably popular, that you play and you start out. It's very cartoonish, and you have a little robot sidekick thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Mega Man.
Fallout.
No. It's a shooter game.
Borderlands.
Yes, Borderlands. Kind of reminded me of Borderlands.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. And Fallout, too. I got a lot of Fallout vibes.
I just don't know the Fallout.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. After all that nonsense, we get the title card, and then we fade into, we're back to Meiji era Japan festival, singing glory holes. Oh, wait, it's the sheriff's place? Is this a Western? Is this Boonraku, Steve?
Yes!
What is this?
Yeah,
this movie is a kind of like a mashup film genre that, I'm sorry, but every movie in this genre sucks. I'm sorry. Boonraku. We should just go watch Boonraku because it might be the best of the bunch.
We really
but there's like,
Cage on it.
And I hate to say it because Takashi Miike is one of my favorite Japanese directors. He's got this movie called Sukiyaki Western Django. And I don't think it's very good. It's the same kind of thing. Mixing feudal Japan, samurai stuff with American Westerns. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
Because the stuff that works for one, I feel doesn't work for the other.
Yeah.
It's just incongruous. I think that's a word. And this is definitely in that space of movies. And at first I think that's cool. Maybe this will be the first one to actually do something interesting with it. We'll see how that pans out.
So I think the thing that got me wasn't necessarily the mixture of culture. That kind of set me off a little bit in certain scenes. But when we're coming into the Ghostland in particular, we start getting into that, like, the really bizarre, very Japanese style movie direction that was just
surrealism.
I don't think it really translates well to an American market.
I was gonna get into this a little bit later too, but I know exactly what you mean. It's also the way that the Japanese characters act.
Yeah.
Their acting style.
Yeah.
If this were a purely Japanese film, it would work great. But since it's more of a Western movie, and most of the dialogue is in English, it's just like over theatrical, and you could argue that it's intentional because at the end of the day,
Japanese style. The Japanese style is very overdramatic and very to make that point.
Yeah. And I think that this movie is kind of like an intentional B movie. Mm-hmm. It's made to be bad, and that's not new with the spate of recent Nick Cage movies.
Right.
But with this one, it just feels like there's all this forced nuance and symbolism and stuff that's supposed to matter, when really at the end of the day, this is like, $5 bin B movie that's been spruced up.
Yeah.
What do you think, Sean? I know we're talking about our thoughts right out the gate, but I just want to keep this thing rolling.
I feel like they wanted to do enough action for a really kick-ass trailer.
Okay.
And that's it.
Yeah. For real.
With how gonzo the trailer is.
Yeah.
Like 60% of this movie is just boring as shit.
Yeah.
So, speaking on the notion of being boring as shit, where we're at right now in the movie, when they first introduced Nick Cage, that was probably one of the best scenes.
Well, I'm going to go through it. I'm going to go through it right now.
Okay.
We're at the sheriff's place. We see all these flags strung up. There are all these little cues that this is Earth, right? That this is taking place in our world, maybe in the distant future or something. My first thought, of course, was at post-apocalypse Mad Max stuff.
This is current. I still firmly believe this is taking place in Asia Town, Santa Monica.
Yeah. But for me, that's telling me, okay, that means no aliens are going to show up here in Samurai Town. It's not going to be cowboys versus samurai versus aliens, please. But then the movie suddenly becomes a Western. We've now flipped completely to a Western, and Nick Cage's character, his name's Hero, by the way. And he's a prisoner of the governor, played by Bill Moseley, who I love him from Devil's Rejects and House of a Thousand Corpses. Right, Sean? Did you bring that up?
Yeah. I like those movies a lot.
He is
he's
not
a fantastic...
Captain Obvious, but I did find out he was also the older brother in Repo.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought of Repo too. Watching this. So the governor drives out in his limo to show the crowd Cage's balls before he puts 2 bombs on him. That's important. I'm not even kidding. There's a woman in the crowd who actually yells, "Let me see your balls!"
Show us your balls!
That's right.
That's what we were all thinking.
Let me see your balls.
Yeah, I mean, everybody has to laugh when you hear that. And then Bill Moseley orders Hero to bring back his beautiful granddaughter, Bernice, and then gives him this discount Gantz suit. If you're familiar with the anime Gantz, that's what I'm reminded of that. But it's got explosives on the balls and other places that's set to detonate only if Nick Cage tries to strike a woman. The sensors trigger if, well, that's what he's told.
No.
If there is an impulse.
He was told. First, he sees the ones on his hands, and he goes, now those ones are there if you have the impulse to strike an innocent woman, I think is what he said.
Okay.
And then he sees the one on his balls, and he goes, those ones are there if you have any impure thoughts. I will have you returning my Bernice to me unsoiled.
Yeah, I just took that. I didn't take that literally. I thought that was like if you try to take him off to have sex or something.
Yeah.
It would. I don't know how these things work, but all I know is
just if he gets a hard on, then one of his balls are going to blow off. That's pretty much what he said.
They detonate if Nick Cage tries to strike a woman, which would have been a huge problem if he'd worn that during The Wicker Man. So thank God. Thank God he didn't have that on. Some things I don't understand about the suit, though. I mean, if it blows up, if he tries to take it off, how will the sensors not be triggered in a combat environment? You know?
There's a zipper. Well, and also like the neck collar. It's a one-piece suit, so he would have to like tear it, and it's unterrable.
So
that was the plot item, and the collar locked. Remember?
Yeah, I do know that. Yeah, but I just like you're in a battle, and they're like, oh, just shoot one of the little balls on his balls. It'll blow up his balls. That's like an instant kill, right?
You don't shoot guns. No one has ammo.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever see anyone shoot a gun?
Yeah, when they robbed the bank.
Well, yeah, that was the bank robber. He came from out of town. Did anyone else ever shoot a gun?
I don't understand how guns and it's just like Boonraku
remember,
and stuff.
That was 15 years ago. They could have outlawed guns since then because of that happening.
Side note, the girl with the toy robot who is with the governor, her name is Susie, and the actress who played her name's Yuzuka Nakaya. She just destroyed her entire career in Hollywood with this one movie, in this one performance. I just want to throw that out there.
Don't give my sister to him. She's the devil. A real devil!
Yeah.
Her acting, her mannerisms, it's something to behold.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's more. The suit also has a countdown timer on the sleeve that looks like a Pip-Boy, right, Sean? It kind of reminded me of that.
Oh, yeah. No, I got some Pip-Boy vibes right there.
And he's got 5 days to return her or he gets blowed up. And I know that's not exactly how it works, but just generally speaking, he's got a short window. Yeah. And then there's this part, right? He gets a car. They give him a car, and he's getting in the car, but then he decides at the last minute to walk away from the car and pick up a bicycle.
Yeah.
And pedal the bicycle out of the town. I know that was a Nick Cage choice. I don't know it for 100%, but I believe it is.
It is.
The action hero now with bombs on his balls is riding out to battle on a bicycle. Oh no, only for the governor's silent samurai bodyguard, Yasujiro, played by martial artist and Tokyo Gore Police veteran Tak Sakaguchi. I love Tokyo Gore Police, by the way. He brings him the car in a completely pointless scene.
Yeah.
So stupid. And then after that, Cage, I assume, enters the Ghostland. They don't really show like the threshold, right, between the town and the Ghostland. He's just kind of there.
Well, he wrecked the car too, right?
Yeah, he wrecks the car. He tries to ram into
that's the threshold. Is you like die or something.
Where you see the bad guys. Oh, is that it?
I mean, it kind of theoretically makes sense. I don't really understand what the Ghostland is.
You might be right.
But it's almost kind of like this euphemism for people that are stuck in like a spiritual limbo.
Yeah. It's like a hallucination of some kind or something.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, in a way, but it really almost feels like a limbo kind of situation.
So he tries to ram his car. He tries to ram his car into young Freddy Krueger again. It's like Freddy Krueger with the sunglasses and the beanie on his head. Hero tries to ram his car into them, not a yarmulke, only to wreck the vehicle, render himself unconscious to trigger another Lynchian flashback of the bank robbery from the beginning. Plus we get nuclear reactors, toy windmills, teary-eyed Japanese people in white robes. What the hell is going on? I have no idea. I'm just going to keep watching, Steve, because that's what we're here for. Cut to Nick Cage being wheelbarrowed further into the Ghostland, where we have burning books. Whoa, symbolism. Whoa. Mannequins just chilling. Some of the mannequins have like people inside them. There's Blade Runner cosplay, people in plastic trash robes dancing. We're in a Deer on Grey music video. There's a giant smoky clock with dudes pulling on a rope attached to its second hand. They keep saying, keep the time moving. It's so deep. Oh my God. Nick Cage is bleeding. There's a prophecy. Time has to move again eventually. We get to hear Nick Cage say, no, I'll karate chop you. Hi fucking ya. Intentional Deadfall reference. It is perfect. I am positive the director of Deadfall, Nick's brother, Christopher Coppola, he thought it was absolutely hilarious. I believe with all my heart. I'm so happy they put that in there. But then he finds Bernice pretty quick. Yeah? It's pretty early on.
Yeah. He pretty much just walks right in and he's like, where's Bernice?
Where is she? She's lost in the mannequin.
And then he discovers that the Ghostland makes the children and youngish adults, because I mean Bernice isn't a kid. I don't know. Lose all the will to live, which in the Ghostland for some reason translates to hanging inside of a mannequin all day. So he does reverse kidnap Bernice, decides to take her home, but first she has to get those mannequin pieces off, right? And this is one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie. He's like, take it off, baby, yeah, take it off. You get that scar roller skating? Woo! And then he serves her up some water, but she just lets it all stream down her face, triggering Hero's suit somehow and effectively blowing off Nick Cage's left nut, which he holds up to the camera and says, I think he says, Shiro Aka? White and red? I think. I rewatched it so many times trying to understand, and then he passes out. But yeah, you get to see him holding up his bloody left nut. And then we get another flashback. Go ahead, Steve.
So one thing I thought of whenever he pulls out his one nut specifically is how unbelievably tight this suit has to be to isolate and detonate one specific testicle over the other. So my only assumption is that as he puts this on, there are small needle implants that went into each of his testicles, and he's just like, this is perfectly fine, and doesn't feel like anything's wrong until he finally later snaps it together. So whatever had to have gone on down there.
Yeah.
Who wears them?
I don't know, man.
Who wears them tighter, Tony Stark or Nick?
I don't know. You tell me, Steve.
I don't know.
We get another great flashback. The flashbacks just keep coming. I love them every time. You get a little bit more information with each flashback. And in this one, we discover that Hero and his partner had a little disagreement and a scuffle when Hero's partner, eyeliner guy, shot the gumball kid. And then they're fighting, and I love the line when he says, "Did you take your medication? Did you take yours?" And I thought that was significant somehow. How, I don't know, but I love that line. The cops do show up, and they're like your average really shitty Japanese police with lame pistols. And Hero's partner decides he's going to suicide himself by cop. Really cool. Oh no, there's friendly fire. The crowd's getting shot at. Oh my God, it's Bernice in the flashback. She was there so long ago.
That girl I just tried to rape.
Yeah. And then the governor finds her and takes her in. You know, he wears this white suit, white cowboy hat, and he has these red gloves because he's got blood on his hands. He's the governor. And then the ghosts show up, right? You think, oh, are these zombies? Is this Train to Busan 3? Oh no, they're rubbing on Hero. Oh, yep, there goes another bomb. There, his right arm. Yep, so we're losing pieces of Nick Cage awfully fast, fellas. All the best parts of Nick. Then later,
that was Nick's own fault because he struck a woman.
Yeah. Then the backstory part where there's chanting and you see the like sketches, the art and stuff.
Again, a Japanese direction.
Yeah, it's very vague and cheesy.
But it's a common theme in Japanese like animations, movies, things like that to do drawings for storytelling.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and it can be done artistically. I just thought it was done more kind of cheaply here, especially when nuclear war and nuclear anything is really bad. Okay, so these weren't they weren't zombies. They were radioactive mutants from nuclear radiation.
Yeah,
because nuclear radiation is bad. So apparently Hero goes to the heart of the Ghostlands where the actual ghosts are. Here's where I get a little lost. So I might need some input here. He goes to the heart of the Ghostlands where the actual ghosts are, because they're always talking about these ghosts, and he has some kind of vision of all the little kids he's killed, and he learns something, and he now wants to liberate the Ghostland? Is that what happened? You know, remember like the shot of
I remember what you're talking about. It was basically his so he's been living with this guilt of like these little kids that died because of his partner being I guess just obsessed with killing little kids. And he always felt like it was his fault for not like, I guess, stopping his partner or something.
Okay.
And so he had a vision of these little kids forgiving him and telling him that he needed to live or something, or like save Bernice.
Yeah.
So I don't know that his goal was necessarily to liberate the Ghostland so much as it was to just leave the Ghostland and like make it back home. Which
but he gives this speech where he's like, we're breaking out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he has the line, if you told me 3 days ago I'd be standing here with one arm and one testicle! Testicle! Trying to reason with you bitches, I would say it's impossible too. And that's a great line.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Mad Max cosplayers show up again, and we find out that young Freddy Krueger is actually Psycho, his partner. Yeah, spoiler. Hero's old bank robber buddy, and that he was the victim of some kind of nuclear waste bus crash incident. And then he asks Cage to kill the governor before setting off this Power Ranger-style nuclear explosion behind him. I didn't understand any of it. Please explain. Please. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah. I think that was the original explosion that created him or something. So this is what I'm saying. I think that the Ghostlands was supposed to be a euphemism for like the spiritual limbo. It's all of these people that are trapped in this environment, and like them being, I don't know, bad people or whatever, are all living through a figurative hell. And
so time has stopped for them, and it needs to continue for their spirits to pass on. Basically. Okay. Well, man, I'm so glad I have some really good literature scholars here to really drive home the deeper meaning of this film. I'm at the end, guys. We are at the Gatling gun scene, which I don't even know what to say about the Gatling gun scene. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, a lot of the fighting scenes really confused me. The amount of times that they're just plunging out, killing each other.
In a normal film, like in a normal Western, Nick Cage would return to the governor. They would have a duel or something.
Yeah.
Right? And it would be a pretty awesome, epic fight. That's what I was expecting. But instead, in like the moment where this is starting to peak, the tension, Susie runs over to a stationary Gatling gun and just starts mowing everybody down because she wants to save Bernice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why?
But like people at random. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand.
And then we get Cage's arm katana, which was sweet.
There were also numerous times that what was his name? Yasujiro would just start randomly killing.
Yeah, his own people.
What I assume, I have no idea what any of the alliances are for any of the people, or like what the relationships are.
And then all of a sudden, then Bernice is apparently a martial arts master.
Yeah.
She has a little sequence where she's kicking ass. What? Now it's Kill Bill.
Well, she's that's Michelle Rodriguez. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's a tough chick.
Yeah, she's in from the Fast saga.
All right. Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got the fight scene between Hiro and Yasujiro, who kicks Nick Cage in the ball, singular, and it goes ding ding. Oh God! And then Yasujiro ultimately loses and sadly gives us the only well-acted death in this whole movie. It's a shame. Bernice guns down the governor for all the sweet bitches left behind. Our hero returns to the Ghostlands where they praise his name. Time is once again restored, and the giant clock is destroyed. Samurai Town is gonna be a beautiful place one day. Hiro, Bernice, and Susie get up and walk on. That's it. I was a prisoner watching this movie.
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you notice the "Make This Country Great Again" sign at the end?
No, I didn't see that.
It was just in the background.
Oh, man. I'm sure there's a lot of Easter eggs that I missed, even with 2 watch-throughs of it. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but as far as movies in this genre go, it's down there on the lower end of the totem pole. Because you have these B-movie stars or actors who are in it that have made much better films. Like I said before, Tokyo Gore Police, that's a great one. But again, that's for a Japanese market. If Tokyo Gore Police had been, I think, a Japanese and US production together with a lot of English in it, it would suck. So sorry.
I was just going to say. Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead, Sean.
I love how the collars were just a blatant ripoff of Battle Royale. Except,
right?
without the testicle ones, I mean.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, since I managed to successfully get away with it on our last recording, I decided to do something different with the trivia bits that I normally have. A little thing I like to call 2 truths and a lie. Sean, I'm not sure if you're aware, but during our last recording, I had told you guys that during Pig, that the entire recording, that Nick Cage did not bathe. Mm-hmm. I totally made that up.
Oh, yeah.
So that's inspired me now to read through to give you guys 3 trivia facts and see if you're able to ascertain which of them is the lie.
Okay, so just be aware, Steve, I watched the behind the scenes.
Okay.
This 8-minute behind the scenes. So if they're pertaining to this movie, I may already know.
You may. So the 3 trivia facts I have for you is that during this movie, Nicolas Cage actually met his wife.
Okay.
The next fact I have for you is that if you recall, at a certain point in the movie when they were going to leave, he grabbed this old football helmet.
Yes.
That football helmet was actually out of a private collection of his that had been destroyed, and he wanted to find a use for it because he didn't want to get rid of it.
Okay.
So that's actually why that was in the movie, even though it was an item that didn't really fit into any other category. That's why.
Yeah. I didn't get that either.
Yeah, yeah. That's why it didn't make any sense.
I'm not completely convinced yet, which is the lie. So what's number 3?
Yeah. Number 3 is that Nick Cage has actually specifically requested this movie be filmed in Japan.
He specifically requested... Well... Oh, man. I would say that that's true because that gave him access to Japan. Maybe they got him like some kind of special visa during the pandemic because he wanted to be with his girl at that time. But you're saying maybe he met her during the filming initially. So when he was filming the movie, he was already over there and happened. One of those isn't true. But then I think... What do you think, Sean?
I don't think he met his wife on the set of this movie.
Yeah.
Because I mean, how long ago did they film it? It couldn't have been that long.
But remember, he was dating some other Japanese woman for some time, and they were married for a couple days, and then not married, and suddenly... I don't know, man. It's a tough one. I almost want to choose option 2, but I just could totally believe it.
That's totally something he would do.
Yeah, it is. This is really good, Steve. So we're gonna have to put our votes down. Sean, you're gonna vote that you think he didn't meet his wife.
Yep.
During the filming. Okay. I'm gonna put down he did not request that the film be filmed in Japan.
Oh, this is the best part about this segment. I don't tell you guys which one is the lie.
Yeah.
That's where we should have the paywall, right? If you want to find out.
Yeah. If you want to find out.
I did want to say, if you are listening to Late Night Cage Fight, you will notice that our release schedule is not very consistent.
Yeah.
So, and I am sorry for that. I do most of the editing, but also I just want to say, keep in mind, we don't ask for any money. We don't pitch anything on here. This is all just us recording and doing this really for ourselves. And I thank you for understanding that and continuing to listen. So,
our sponsor tonight is Clyde Mace. It's the original Alabama-style whiskey. Drink Clyde Mace. Very good for you.
All right. I have nothing. I don't want to even listen to you anymore, Steve, because now I have to do my own research. You know how many times I've been told this past year to do my own research?
Yeah.
That's why I only drink horse whiskey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
He just told you why. Because he does his own research.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that went wide over my head.
I get 100,000 of my closest friends together, of varying demographics and backgrounds and races, and I do a double-blind, peer-reviewed study.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what most people do. When they say do your research, that's what they've done.
Yeah.
Except for the French. We don't trust them.
No, I mean, they wanted to buy, or they wanted to sell really lame submarines. I mean, they gotta be cooler.
Did you know that in
Steve,
France,
they won't take responsibility for the fries?
Oh, geez.
Did you know that the French government, they actually they instituted a program where they give you a credit card that has a certain amount of money on it that you can only use to buy French art, or like,
what?
Yeah, like.
No, I didn't know this.
You have to use it to. It's supposed to be like so younger people take in culture, but you can use it to buy like like movies or like comic books or like video games.
Oh,
Didn't somebody have the same idea to do that with like the economic stimulus here?
I mean,
I swear I saw something online about that of like forcing you to use it at like local businesses or something like that.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I spent my second stimulus on a PlayStation 5 just because I knew that it would piss off Mitch McConnell.
He's like
genius.
personally writhing in his grave right now.
I sent him a
Mitch
request.
McConnell?
Yeah, I sent him a request on Venmo for the additional $600, and he never.
He's not
sent
dead.
It.
He still sleeps there. He wants to be ready.
Okay. That's a great idea, Sean. Wow.
Yeah.
You guys are ahead of the game here. I never have these great ideas. I just get discouraged.
Well,
And
not
then try
all
to
of us can be
bodyboard.
great bodyboarders.
You know, he had to make his Venmo private because so many people were sending requests for $600 to his like at ussenate.com email.
Yeah. That's awesome. I believe it.
Yeah.
Well, to finish up with the movie, Prisoners of the Ghostland, are you guys familiar at all with Sion Sono and his filmography? I'm a no.
What else did he do?
What else did he do? Let's look at his other films.
Yeah, I was
Internet.
just
.com.
He's actually won quite a few awards for his
Suicide
films.
Club.
He's okay. I've seen these titles before. His previous film was called Red Post on Escher Street. He did a mini series called The Forest of Love, Deep Cut. I think I remember reading that was pretty big. There's The Forest of Love, Tokyo Vampire Hotel, Shinjuku Swan 2, Anti-Porno. Okay.
What's an
Shinjuku Swan.
anti-porno?
Tokyo Tribe, Cold Fish, Love Exposure. I've heard of that one. He's got some... Oh, Suicide Club.
yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
He did Suicide Club.
That was literally
I
the
really
first
like
one I
that.
said. Dick.
I always wanted to join
man.
that club.
If you're having suicidal thoughts, please talk to a counselor or a therapist.
Or
I
a
have to
cage-
say that. I have to say that, Sean, when you...
Yeah.
Or a
Licensed.
cage fighter.
Or a cage fighter. We were very
Message
good.
us personally. We will talk you off the ledge and
will.
into a nice copy of World Trade
Anything.
Center. Or
We will watch
anything.
Cotton Club.
Or
We
the-
will watch
the
Cotton
Rock.
Club.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will actually personally watch Cotton Club for the first time
Yeah.
if you commit to not doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's
Yeah.
actually... Wow.
I'm not
pretty
sure that's a
convincing.
fair trade, but
I don't
I'm
either.
willing.
I'm surprised that you have a heart that big, Steve.
Yeah. We all try to do our parts.
Yeah. All right.
Did you know
Behind the scenes.
Sion
You want
Sono
behind the
was
scenes?
actually inspired by Wild at Heart?
No, but there is some Wild at Heart in it with those David Lynchian flashbacks.
Not this movie in particular, just Sion Sono found
Yeah.
Wild at Heart
Yeah.
is an inspirational movie.
Yeah, it is. It is. They show it on the Christian channels.
Yeah.
It is an inspirational Hallmark film now.
Yeah.
So behind the scenes, like I said, there's like an 8-minute behind the scenes little clip thing with the iTunes release. There is some footage of Cage doing martial arts training in Japan. And by the way, the dude who was teaching this was Yasujiro. He's a master martial artist, so he was in charge of the choreography. And it looked pretty badass, and it looked like Nick was really trying, but it was funny because in the footage it just seemed like they were kind of rehearsing among them, and he's standing around trying to figure out what the hell to do. But the most interesting part about it was he said that when he started training with them, they were telling him he wasn't fighting like a samurai. He has to move more like a samurai. He was bringing some other kind of style. And so he kind of, in this interview, says that in a way he invented a new fighting style. You just have to listen to it. He also says that he explicitly loves Japan and he admires Japanese style.
Yeah.
And because of that, he chose to do this movie because it doesn't fit the norm. And I respect that. I do kind of like how, I mean, there's the joke that Nick Cage always, his agent chooses whatever movie for him, or he forces his agent to just take the wildest movie. And I think in a sense, he is looking for movies that are just weird, strange, abnormal. Mm-hmm. And I kind of admire that. Because sometimes it does work. That
definitely seems like his trajectory as of late. I feel like he's kind of made a resurgence. I mean, I don't know how much he really ever went away, but he's been busy. He's been doing a lot of interesting movies.
Right. I do think he does have. What I'm saying is, I do think he does have a sense of taste in the projects that he takes on. It's not just, I need the money, I'm going to do this, even though it seems that way sometimes. But you look at other stars, like Bruce Willis, for example. These other stars that have been trying in a way to make a comeback, and I feel like just quite haven't gotten there. But Nick, it seems like, is finding his niche now, which is a cool thing. I mean, now the next thing we're looking at is early next year, the release of the movie I can never remember the title, the unbearable weight of
massive talent.
Yes, and that is like a total meta thing on his, I hope, personal life is in there. Yeah. I really hope that they touch on that.
I'm hoping we're in there.
But we want Cage to, I think we want Cage to laugh at himself a little bit.
Yeah.
You didn't get the call, Steve?
No.
I'm just saying, look at Jiu-Jitsu, Prisoners of the Ghostland. If they had come out consecutively, we would think Nick Cage is just done. He does not care anymore. But no, it's sandwiched. Those are, in between there is Pig. So it's like, okay, so Nick Cage...
Willy's Wonderland.
And Willy's Wonderland. Yeah, we don't want to forget about that.
And the governor being from Wally's Wonderland.
Yeah.
Same character, right? Inspired by Doug Dimmadome.
Yeah, they do feel like the same.
Yeah, they do. Good for you people out there listening who watch the film and really like it and want to break it down, and that's really cool. I just hope that you watch some of these other movies that I think are a lot better, part of this genre. And I'll give Cage a pass, because to me this is an intentionally bad B movie. Cage knew it, and I really want to know how much of his lines were ad-lib. The testicle part, him getting pissed off, the bicycle. Oh, that's the last Easter egg of the behind the scenes. He said he was really happy working with Sion Sono because he allowed him to give his own creative input.
Yeah.
How much? I don't know, but I'm guessing it was significant if Nick Cage is going to say, hey, thanks, because I get the feeling most of the time he's probably shut down by a lot of directors.
And I get the feeling that some of it was things like the bicycle.
Yeah, exactly.
And the RAR, the people on the side.
Oh, that part. Oh, that was so bad. When he's trying to scare the people.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'd say it's definitely worth a watch one time just to experience it. But I don't think it's going to stick, guys. That's, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm hoping for another. I mean, I know you guys weren't as enthused about Pig, but I don't know. Honestly, I'm looking forward to another Mandy. What I liked about Mandy, and if you go back and listen, you're going to hear that my review probably wasn't as stellar as it would be now, because I feel like now I kind of get it more, and I can appreciate there was a lot of action in that movie.
If you want to go back and watch it, that's fine. I mean, you
can't go back?
I'm not.
I thought it was pretty good, but after Prisoners of the Ghostland, I think it's better than I give it credit for. But I would go back and watch it.
The other day, I was at the grocery store, and I saw some girl in a Slayer t-shirt, And I just thought,
what if?
That was a good movie.
Yeah. Never know. Those cultists out there.
No.
All right, well, any final thoughts on Prisoners of the Ghostland? What can we expect? Is this ever going to be in our repertoire to battle? Who knows? Only God knows why.
I'm nervous when we get up to this point where we got to start pitting these against one another, because I feel like
it's almost going to be pointless.
Yeah.
It's got to be this versus Jiu-Jitsu.
Well, at least right now, we are still in the golden age of Cage, and you can expect soon we're going to have our next regular episode as part of our Versus series, where we're going to talk about Leaving Las Vegas and City of Angels. So that's coming up. I'm also working on getting out the
I feel like we've said that a few times. We really mean it, guys. It's really going to happen.
That is going to happen. That is going to happen, and it's going to be very different from our Prisoners discussion, because these are actual movies.
Yeah.
But the cool thing is, I have them on DVD too, so I'm actually going to watch the behind the scenes too with those, and we'll have a pretty cool discussion leading up to our Cage fight. Yeah, we got 2 more Versus episodes than our Season 3 Cage battle down the road. I've got we watched Arch Enemy with Joe Manganiello as part of our Cageless series. That'll come out soon. Have some audio issues to correct on that, but it's all good. I will be able to fix it. And the reason we're doing that is because Nick Cage was originally slated to play the lead, but it eventually went to Joe Manganiello. We had a really cool conversation about that. Stay tuned for that. Anything else, guys?
I saw Shang-Chi.
What'd you think? You said you liked it.
It was really good. I won't say too much, because I'm sure we'll do an episode about it when it hits Disney Plus, but definitely a love letter to those who enjoy martial arts cinema.
And John Kim.
Yes.
John Kim?
John?
Kim's Convenience.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which I just finished, and I'm pissed off because apparently they kind of canceled it abruptly because the showrunners just wanted to do something else.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Same.
Oh, man. Thanks for listening to Late Night Cage Fight. Go see Prisoners of the Ghostland. You can, by go see, I mean you should, stream it from your computer. You can rent it now, Amazon Prime, Apple, everywhere fine streams are rented out. And what was the last thing I was going to say about it? Oh, yeah, let's try to bring that box office number up a little bit, But you don't want to bring it up too much, because then we might get a Prisoners 2. And that's kind of scary.
Yeah. Make sure it's just below whatever the budget was.
Which I couldn't find.
Well,
I couldn't find it. Because it was probably funded by Yakuza money.
That's true. It's true. Can we also officially add Bunraku to the Cageless docket? Let's just make it happen.
We're gonna have to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. Sean hasn't seen it. Steve worships it.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun coming off of Prisoners.
Yeah.
And I won't be surprised if Sean's like, yeah, Prisoners of the Ghostland was a lot better than this pile of shit. I don't know.
There's at least some good character. I don't know. It's good.
Yeah. That would be a good conversation.
Yeah.
I think with the number of times you've brought up that movie in this podcast, it's kind of like a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So that'll happen. Yeah. Well, thanks everyone out there listening to Late Night Cage Fight. We're going to end this episode, and be sure to stay tuned for our next release. Check us out on Facebook and our website, nickcagefight.com. Thank you all. Thank you guys for being a part of this once again, and have a wonderful night.
Goodbye.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Early last week, I had an awesome evening. I went bodyboarding for the first time. And I mean, like, really bodyboarding. I took my body. I got this really cool boogie board. I have some really cheap fins that are really for snorkeling that I got from Walmart. And I basically watched 2 YouTube videos, and I'm like, oh, well, I can swim.
Oh, yeah, you're an expert.
Yeah, I'm an expert. I got this. Like, yeah, you got to put your fins on first and then back into the water. I'm like, yeah, dude, I can put my fins on in the water because I was a swimmer my whole life. I know how to do this. Whatever. And I actually had a really good experience one night at Waikiki. I caught 2 really big waves. I rode them into the shore. I had this one kid. He was like, dude, that was a gnarly wave, bro. That was sick. I'm like, yeah, man. Dude, I love it. I love this stuff. And the sun was coming down, and I was like, man, I'm the master of boogie boarding. So the next day, I was so confident, I decided to try the waves on the east side. So I drove to 2 different beaches. I stopped my car and I watched. And I don't know if you've seen those surfing footage of the professional surfers out in the water where the waves are like so big they're wrapping around the surfers. You know what I mean? They're huge. And I'm watching these guys out there, and I realized if I go out there with them, I'm gonna fucking die. I'm not ready for this yet. I'm not ready. But Waikiki Beach, they got some big waves, but I got this, bro. So the next evening, I'm gonna go out. Actually, it was the next morning. I'm gonna drop the kids off. I'm gonna go out and just spend a couple hours bodyboarding. Well, there were a series of events this day that all led up to making this my clown day. Would you like to hear?
Yes.
All right, the first thing that happened was when I got there, I had to park. And you have to park in Waikiki using these machines. Well, if you park at the zoo, which is the closest to the beach where the people bodyboard. So I went to pay. It's $3 for 2 hours, and then it says printing ticket, and then it only spits out less than half the ticket, just like the title of the parking lot, and then it just says printer out of paper. Oh, okay. So I just paid, but it didn't give me a receipt to put on my dashboard. So I'm kind of nervous, like, oh man, are they going to tow me? Whatever. I don't have a lot of time. I'll go to another machine. So I walk to the other machine. I do the same thing, and then at the end it says, all right, grab your ticket, and it doesn't print anything. So I'm just stuck with this half ticket, and I've paid $6 to park for 2 hours, twice the amount. So I'm like, I've already paid more than I'm supposed to. I'm just going to put this little half sheet thing up here if they want to tow in my car or whatever. I don't really care at this point. But I kind of had that fear this whole time that they were going to tow my car. And then now when I go swimming, the only thing I take with me is a pouch. I take my flip-flops, and I take a pouch that is a waterproof pouch for my phone, and then for a key to the car. Everything else I keep in the car because I worry about theft. And I bury my sandals in the sand. And if somebody steals them, whatever, because they're cheap. But I noticed other people do that sometimes. So that was my plan, right? So I got my board. I go down there. Oh, yeah, waves are looking pretty good. I just kind of glimpse at them. I see all these people at the beach. This is Waikiki Beach. So even at 10 a.m., 9 a.m., there's a ton of people. And you have to understand the setup of this beach here, of where people bodyboard at the beach. So there's this long pier, and then connected to that pier at the very end, the pier becomes a wall. This narrow wall that goes really far down the beach. And what that is for is to catch the force of the waves so that people can hang out in that part of the beach without worrying about getting smacked by giant waves. It's where the families kind of chill. All right. But those are where the big waves are going. And the bodyboarders are trying to catch those waves. Well, I had a lot of success on the left-hand side of the pier because there weren't as many waves, but there were still big ones. And you don't have to worry about slamming into that wall. It just carries you right into the shore. So that was my original plan. I bury my sandals. I see other people kind of scanning. I'm like, I don't need to scan. I was here the other day. I know how to do this. So I get in the water, and I swim to where I was the last time, which again is if you're facing the ocean, it's the left-hand side of the pier. All these people, and there are people on the pier too watching, like, whoa, those dudes are out there surfing and bodyboarding. Wow, that's cool. And I want to impress these people. I forgot this. There's also a dude that's he's got a video camera, like a really high-end one. Maybe he's filming for a commercial or something. I'm like, man, that'd be wild if I caught a wave when I was in his video. So I'm waiting, and like 20 minutes go by. I'm not catching any waves. but I see that the dudes on the other side of the pier are, and they're a good distance away from that concrete wall. So, I'm like, well, I'll give it maybe 10 minutes more or so, and then maybe I'll just kind of mosey on over there and see if I can catch a couple of their waves. And that's what ended up happening. So I got impatient. So I went over that way. And what happened was, when I went over there, I wasn't paying attention to how the tide was moving me further and further inland towards that concrete wall. And so by the time I got close to where those waves were, I had already reached the point where they are monstrous. And they just keep coming. And I get hit. I get smacked by one. I try to ride it. I just flip over the wave. And when I come back up, I get back on my board, and one of my flippers is gone. It knocked away one of my flippers. And now it's this endless barrage of waves that just keep smacking me. I'm trying to do the duck dive where you go underneath, but it's so shallow, I'm scared I'm going to hit the bottom. So I just let them smack me. And I roll with it. I just keep getting hit. I'm like, oh my God. And I realize I'm getting tired, and I can't even kick because I only have one flipper. So I'm kicking one flipper through the water. Like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And my biggest fear, when I tell the story, other people are like, were you scared you were going to drown? No, I knew I wasn't going to drown, but I was scared I was going to get to a point where somebody was going to realize I wasn't getting out of that situation, and they were going to have to call emergency services. And I was going to have to be rescued. That was my fear. Because I looked at the pier a couple times, and there were some people up there. I noticed when I first got in that zone, they were looking at me kind of smiling. And then I noticed later, as I was getting my ass beat by the waves, they weren't smiling anymore. They were legitimately concerned with this guy with one fin trying to get through these waves and being not successful at all. And so, out of complete desperation, I just let the waves wallop me to the wall, which is overgrown with rotting moss and coral and stuff. I pull off my one flipper that I have, I throw it over the wall, I throw my board over the wall, and I just wait for a giant wave to come, and I jump up, and I jump with the wave over the wall. I didn't even care if I was going to hit somebody down there. I was like, I hope it's all clear on the other side of this wall, because I'm done with this shit. So I jump over the wall, and I just float on my board. I'm like, thank God I survived that, because I was getting really worried. I didn't know how I was going to get out of that. But then I'm like, I wonder how many people witnessed this amazing event. So I just gently float back to the shore and try not to look at people because I'm nervous, and I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for a comment from someone. I mean, somebody had to have seen this. But then, I'm like, I just got to get out of here. But then I'm like, wait a minute, I got to get my flip-flops. They're on the other side of the pier in the sand, so I got to go back to where I first got into the water. So I go over there. I do find my flip-flops. I just try not to look at anybody. I got a big smile on my face. Like, yeah, I can't believe that happened. I'm so embarrassed, I don't even rinse the sand off my feet. I just get in my damn car with sand on my feet because I just don't want to be there anymore. And I'm so embarrassed, and I just want to tell somebody about it. So I get my pouch out, and I get my phone in the pouch, right? I look at the pouch. The pouch is completely full of water, and my phone is on, floating in the water, because I didn't seal the goddamn pouch correctly. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, thankfully I wasn't towed. They were working on the parking machines, but I was thinking, man, I'm going to get back after all this, and my car's going to be gone. I'm going to have to pay to get it out. But no, my phone was floating in water. And kind of the final nail in the coffin, I put my phone, I read put it in rice. People say put it in rice and let it drain. I did that for a day, and then the next day I couldn't get my charger and the phone to charge it. Well, that's because a little fucking piece of rice got jammed up inside of the phone. And I couldn't get it out. So I had to keep scraping my phone underneath to try to get little pieces of it out, just enough so I could jam my charger in. And now, every once in a while, my phone says, "We've detected liquid in the phone. We're not going to let you charge." I'm like, yeah, but my phone's dry, bro, and you're just detecting a piece of rice, I'm pretty sure, because it's been 2 days. I'm pretty sure it's not still wet in there. So you can override it. I have to override that. But I haven't been bodyboarding since last week. My pride is really hurt.
That's the price you pay for learning HM04 surf.
I think you should go back.
Do it all again.
And actually, you should go back and do it intentionally this time.
I should do it the same time every morning, same way, and see.
And then you'll just get really good at it.
How long someone takes.
No, I do this every day. Don't worry. I do this every day. Is there anybody on the other side of the wall?
This is how I wake up.
I feel like you should put that at the end of the podcast.
Yeah. This story?
Yeah.
Yeah, the other thing is there's a really nice coffee shop I like right there, right off the beach. And I'm not going there, bro. People are going to recognize me from the ocean.
So, have you looked yourself up on YouTube yet?
Not yet. I'm reluctant, but
I think it would be worth it, and if you find it, please link it.
Dude, if there was a video of this, I would die. That's would be so hilarious.
Now's the time to look and just type in all the keywords. Waikiki, beach, dumbass bodyboarding.
Yeah, missing flipper.
Plot twist: the person that filmed it was Nicolas Cage on vacation.
Oh!
He was on his honeymoon in Waikiki.
Do you have what it takes to be a season finale Cage Lord right here on Late Night Cage Fight? Do you have any Nicolas Cage related stories or memories to share? Send us a message on Facebook or email latenightcagefight@gmail.com and we may include you in our next podcast. Until next time, Cage out.
If you told me 3 days ago I'd be standing here with one arm and one testicle, trying to reason with you, bitches!